Hello and welcome back to smutandstuff.net. My name is Jess and today we are saying goodbye just for a second to the giant jar. At the time you're seeing this video, happy 2025. I hope you guys are so excited for the new year, and I love a good new year fresh start. It's my jam. It's absolutely my favorite thing. And when I made my giant jar, I had a vision in mind, and for the past 3 episodes of Self-Destructing Scoop, you guys have seen me reading books that I wanted to prioritize on my TBR. And for 2025, I decided I wanted to do it a little bit different. So I am keeping the giant jar, but I am going to be changing what's in the capsules, and instead of doing specific book titles, I am going to be doing all prompts. And part of my reason for doing this is because I miss the mood read, or like trying to find a book that fits a prompt. I think that that's really fun. I'm still prioritizing my TBR, and a lot of the prompts will allow me to prioritize my TBR, like the older books on my TBR. If you watched Self-Destructing Scoop before, you know I have 3,000 books that I've been wanting to read as long as 2021, so they've been there for a while, and I definitely want to get them read, or at least give them a try and determine if I want to read them or not. So I'll be redoing my giant jar. I'm going to take all these capsules out. Thankfully, I bought way too many capsules on Amazon, so I can take these ones out and start with fresh, clean ones. I don't have to take all these scraps out just yet. I will at some point, but today is not that day. So I've been working on putting together the prompts that I wanted to put into my new jar, and I've found some really fun ones. I've been using just some of the prompts that I had already had in here, my like potpourri prompts, things like I have one for each letter, finding like a book title with the letter. I've also added ones that have to do with like number of ratings on Goodreads, average ratings on Goodreads, things like that, to help me kind of not so much, well, yes, kind of, make some of these prompts quantifiable, so it's easy to like sort my shelves to find the book that fits the prompt pretty quickly, and others are a little bit harder, such as like certain objects on the cover, or like last letter, first letter, finding authors with like my name initials, finding a book published in the month that I pull it from the jar, things like that. So I'm really excited for a little bit of variety in them. I'm also trying to decide if I'm going to make the scoop smaller. Some of the episodes, they take a while because I was pulling like 8 or 9 books, and when I had originally started, I was like, oh, the half scoop is perfect because it gives me like 6, and then I literally never got 6. I always got more than that. So I might decrease my scoop size as well to kind of make the episodes a little bit quicker to film, because I know you guys love them so much, and it's hard to kind of create as many it's hard to create a lot of them when they take a wicked long time. So that is kind of my plan. I'm going to take you guys along the journey a little bit to watch this jar kind of transform a little bit, and I'm so excited. It might be less full because this had like 500 capsules in it, and 500 prompts is a lot. That's a lot. So unless I can like find a bunch more. I also have been utilizing some reading challenges on Goodreads. If you go into community, and go to like groups, you could find challenge groups. Oh my goodness. One of the ones that I've been using the most is the Pop Sugar one, which a lot of them kind of repeat from year to year, but I went back as far as they had them. I think they had them all the way back to like 2015, and I pulled a few from that. Some of the things that I won't really be like using from those challenges are things that I wouldn't be able to tell before I read a book. So obviously I have to know, like one of the prompts is like a book that made you cry. Well, I'm not gonna know if it's gonna make me cry before. So versus like those challenges are kind of meant to like fill in throughout the year. I need the prompts to be something that I would have to pick the book based off of so that I can select them to read them. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, so we are revamping the jar. I'm so excited. This is gonna be so fun. It was so fun to make it the first time, and I'm excited to kind of get to make it again. So buckle up, we're gonna be redoing the jar, and I'm trying to decide, depending on how long this video is, it probably won't be too long. I might do my first scoop at the end of this video, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm also toying with the idea of doing a scoop and then doing like a reading vlog of like the scoop and my reactions for the books, like separately, because I know not everybody's like into the reading vlog. Some people are just here for like the aesthetic of the scooping. So let me know down below what is kind of like your vibe, what you prefer as far as the video content. And enough chattering, let's get revamping the jar. Another thing that I'm changing from my previous jar is I had all of the categories. I'm not really doing that this time because it's prompt based. So obviously there's not really like categories of prompts, but we have our giant empty jar. It echoes, like look at that. We have our giant empty jar. I'm gonna go start working on getting everything written. I have this old, like really old notebook, but it has graph paper in the back, which is my favorite. So I'm going to be using this, which I used last time. This one also has plain white paper, but I'm too much of a spaz to use just plain white paper. So I'll be using the graph paper, but I kept this notebook with all of my jar supplies, so I would know what paper I used last time. So I've got that to work on, and then I also kept all of the like markers and things that I used before so that I can use those again this time. So that's also going in the jar. And then I already grabbed my empties, so there was a bunch of empty ones in the box I just dumped the full ones into, but I also have like 2 big bags of empties, so I'm gonna start with those, and then if I need more I can dig out the empties from the box as well, but I don't necessarily think I'll need them. So let's go talk about prompts. Okay, so I have moved to my desk so that I can look at my list of prompts so I know what I need to write on here. I've got my notebook and my pens ready. Again, it's so echoey in this jar. And even though I said I wasn't going to, I got my empties kind of situated, and then I also have these 2 bags of empties ready to go. I'm hoping that I can just use what I have already empty so I don't have to empty out the ones that I already have filled, because that'll be a pain, I think. But I'm gonna go ahead and start writing out all my prompts. I am super aesthetic as far as like writing things using the same pens. Like I'm just obnoxious like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my time, get those written, the ones that I have so far. I have about 100 prompts right now, and I want to see how much that fills the jar. We have a really big jar to work with, and I could buy a smaller jar, but I already have this one, but I don't want it to look so empty. So I'm gonna see where 100 prompts gets us, and then what I might do is, if it's not enough, is sorry, I thought there was something in my hair, but it is literally the like face thing on my phone. Anyway, I'm gonna see where that puts us, and if it's not like full enough, I might just do 2 of all the prompts to give it 200 and then go with that. So we'll see where that gets us, but let's go ahead and start writing out the prompts. We have a visitor. Drobo, would you like to say hello? Oh, who's such a good boy? Who's such a good boy? Hello. You say hello to the people? Say hello. I'm tired and old, and I don't want to be on camera. Hey, you don't want to be social today? Okay, well, that's fine. So So just going through my notebook, and like I was saying, I love using this graph paper. I had a bunch of sheets that I used when we were looking for a tenant for our downstairs apartment. So I'm actually going to just cut that information off because there's actually a lot of blank space that I didn't use. I had saved it for notes for like when we were doing the showings and things like that, and then didn't really use it. So I'm going to just cut off all of their personal information and use the paper that's there because it's perfectly fine and I can do that. So I'm going to not show you this part, but that's why like all the pieces of paper are going to be like weird shapes and like halfsies, but I'm going to go ahead and cut that information off so I'm not sharing it on the internet, and I'll be back soon. My last one, so I've got all of these scraps I will use up first, and I just cut off all the crinkly bits, so I will use those up first, and then I will rip out pages as needed. I try really hard to use up all the scrap stuff that I can to, you know, save the planet and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get started with the prompts. A quick note about supplies. I do have the jar and the little capsules that I used for my big jar linked down below. As far as the pens I like to use, I use these like Papermate flares. If you grew up in the 90s and 2000s, you probably were obsessed with these. Same. And these write really fine, and they are my favorite. I also love the mild liners. I use these a lot as well, but I don't find that the tip is fine enough for my handwriting. I think I write really small, and that makes it hard to read sometimes. So I'll be using these Papermates in assorted colors to make them all gloriously beautiful. But those are some of the supplies that I used for this. You can absolutely find a jar anywhere. I actually found mine at Walmart, and I believe the link that I have below is for it on Amazon, so you can get the capsules on Amazon and the jar together, and save yourself a trip if you need to. The capsules that I got are the macaroon colors, whatever, they're pastels, and that was the one that I chose, and they came all assorted in different colors, which I really appreciated, and tons. I got like I think I got 1,000 of them. I got so many. I have way too many, but they're reusable, so get them, girl. It's fine. So that was just a quick little note on the supplies that I'm using, and again, you can find the links for those in the description box below if you want to get supplies to make your own giant jar for 2025. Hello, it is significantly later in the day, hence why it is so dark, so I apologize for the lighting. But I have finished all of my prompts, and I ended up with actually closer to 200. What I was using to count the squares on my spreadsheet was giving me the sum of like the numbers that I had put in, not the count. So I have a bunch, and we've got some typos going on, but that's okay. I am going to work on getting these all cut out tonight, and here comes the lovely furry prince coming to inquire why his food has not been provided, and that's because he has 3 more minutes before dinner. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue to work on this tonight. I am at the point where I get to cut out all the things and put them in the capsules, which is my favorite part, because I find that so satisfying to see the jar start to fill up. So fingers crossed that about 200, we should have about a full jar, so it'll probably be close to the level that the jar was when we started this whole project. So fingers crossed for that. Some of my favorite prompts that I added are actually like the most obscure things that I could possibly find. Let me see if I can find the paper that has them on it, because I'm actually kind of really excited for it. One of them is like retry a book that I previously DNF'd, a book with multiple authors. So that could be like either like Christina Lauren, who is technically written by 2 people, or a book that has 2 authors like listed. I also have a book from an author that I read in 2021, so I can go back through the books I read in 2021 and pick an author from that. So I think that'll be really fun. I also have 2 books, 1 title, so I have to read 2 books that have the same title. I think that'll be really cool. Current month, any year, so I have to find a book that is published in the month that I pick that one from the jar. So if I, example, pick it in December, I have to read a book that was published in December any year that is, I mean, any year. That's the end of that. Let's see some of the other fun ones. I really hope I never get the 900-page one, because that seems like it'll be terrible. Read a book for the current season. So if I pull it in spring, I like a springtime read. If I pull it in winter, like a wintry read. I think that'll be really kind of fun. Includes a word from the title of the last read book, or themed around the next upcoming holiday. So I've got a bunch of really fun options, and they are definitely allowing me to lean heavier into a mood read. Yeah, they have a prompt, but I have some flexibility of like what book I want to pick to fit that prompt. I also, of course, have all of the letters, and I'm also adding some that have page counts, and also number of reviews, and also average star rating, which I think will be really fun. So lots of really good stuff. I'm so excited for this. I think that having the ability to mood rate a little bit more versus having specific books to pull out of the jar will really help my motivation and help this series like move a little bit quicker. Like I had said in the intro, I was feeling a little bit stalled because I was pulling books and then I was just not feeling inspired to read them. This will give me a little bit more freedom to be inspired for those, because at the end of the day, reading is fun and we want to optimize our reading and fun time. So that is the update. Now I will maybe update you guys tonight, but it might be too dark to like really see what I'm doing. So I might wait until tomorrow to give you guys my next update, but I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and enjoying this process, because I am really enjoying this. I was telling my friend Sabrina earlier today that I was feeling a little bit slumpy from the holidays. It is literally the day after Christmas. And I was feeling a little bit slumpy, like I just wasn't really feeling any motivation. And I think this is what I needed. I needed a refresh. I needed like the New Year vibe, but before New Year's, you know what I mean? And this is totally hitting the spot. So I'm so glad that I decided to do this today. I am going to go hopefully get these all snipped out and into the little capsules and into the jar. That is actually a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. If you thought watching me open them was painful, trying to get them closed is also just as bad. So I will give you guys an update as soon as I have one.
Without the pain.
we are back, and unfortunately we ran out of capsules for empty ones that I had. I have lots of my little cut pieces that need to go in, which means I have to uncapsule a bunch from the previous, which I just dumped in here earlier when we started this project. So I now have to, oh, I found a top. I now need to uncapsule some of these, which is not ideal. They're kind of a pain, but let me just grab a few handfuls out. Oh, and then I got another empty one. Yay. Okay. We can chat a little bit about what to do when you get kind of in a reading slump, because I know that some of us might all be feeling this. I am feeling this a little bit, and we talked about this earlier about the holidays and feeling a little bit slumpy. One of the things that I've learned to kind of help me battle that a little bit, and this is not easy, so if you feel like, oh, I could never do that, you probably can, but it's not easy. You really just have to embrace what brings you joy. And I know it sounds super cheesy and super dumb, but if you are not loving what you're reading, you don't have to read it. Unless this is literally your entire job, like you're a manuscript editor. It's literally like the only time when that would be, oh, we're not opening that one. When it's required for you to read a book that maybe you don't love. And if it's not your job, it's not your job. So you can DNF if you want to, or put something on hold if you don't feel like reading it, or don't read the book that everybody's talking about because you don't think you're gonna like it. That's okay too. And I know we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, or at least I know I do. I don't know if the rest of you do. If you don't, I love that for you, but I put too much pressure on myself to do things a certain way or read certain books that everybody is loving and things like that. And we're getting ready to start a new year, if not already. Hopefully this goes up before the new year, because that's the plan. This is the year to make yourself happy and just live in a joyful way. Like, they're books. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. One of my friends on Instagram, she like posts a word of the year, and her word for 2025 is Jubilee, and I just think that's so great. Like, do the things that make you flippin' happy and fuck the rest, you know? So I hope that you can find that mindset either in your reading or in other aspects of your life as we go into the new year, and embrace that mindset, not only in the first month of the year when we're always the most devoted to being better versions of ourselves, but throughout the entire year, and allow yourself the freedom to say no to things that don't bring you joy, unless they're like bills, because you don't get to say no to those even if they don't bring you joy. But the things that you can control and that you do have a say over, say no. Say no if it doesn't bring you joy, if it's not going to help you reach your goals, if it's not going to do anything to better your life, just say no. And it's okay. The world will not end. The world will keep spinning, and you will be better off for it. So, this is your PSA. Do what you want. So I am so close to finishing these, and having to open them just to reshut them is not my favorite, but it's okay because this jar is my favorite and that's what matters. I haven't decided entirely what I'm gonna do for the scoop yet. I know when we talked earlier, I had talked about changing from the half a cup to maybe a quarter cup. I haven't totally made the decision on that yet. Or alternatively, I don't love this idea because I named this series Self-Destructing Scoop, but I could always just pick the number of books that I want to read for that episode and go that way. But again, I called it scoop for a reason, so not having a scoop makes it seem kind of like cheating. Oh, there's another lid. But I also do kind of like the aspect of not knowing how many is going to come out. And I think now having the prompts that are a little bit more mood read friendly, I won't necessarily mind as much if I get a bunch of books because I can pick them, you know what I mean? And I think that's going to be a big help. So I'm excited for that for sure. My bowl is empty. Let's see how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 14. Let me get the ones off the floor. I was gonna tell you something else. What was I gonna tell you? I wish I didn't forget. Yay, I don't have to empty the rest of these. I'm stuck in the box. Thank you for bearing with me during that. Let me move you down. This is a terrible angle for me, but you can at least see the capsule part if that's something you're interested in watching. I am also very excited, and one of the things that I did for these capsules too is I have another 2025 goal, which is 25 to read in 2025, which I will... Pretty sure I already posted that. No, I can't really remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I posted that already. I will link mine below. But I did add some capsules in here for, like, that the prompt is to read a book off my 25 and 25. I also want to do a, like, 25 series I want to finish in 2025. Because I have so many series that I'm in the middle of that I have not finished. And so I think that's going to be another big reading goal. I'm also going to talk a little bit, probably tomorrow when the sun is out and I'm not sleepy, my new reading tracker that I'm using for 2025, and I will link the YouTube channel and the Etsy that I got it from. But the nice thing about it that I'm excited for, it is Notion instead of Excel, which I usually use, or Google Sheets, which I usually use. And I'm excited because it has a lot of these criterias that are the prompts for these. It allows me to kind of keep track of them. So I'm in the process of not necessarily like moving all of my TBR from Goodreads, but like copying it into this Notion template because I can label the books with like the tropes that are in them, because I did make some trope capsules for this year, which I'm so excited for. Like some of my favorite tropes like fake dating, sports romance, things like that. And this Notion template allows me to input and search by tropes as long as I like label them, which I'm super excited for. And so that's going to be a big win. I'm kind of shifting from my spreadsheet. I love a good spreadsheet. But I'm finding that it's just not, it's too cumbersome to track things And with this Notion template, it's cumbersome in the beginning because I'm copying my entire Goodreads TBR, which is like over 3,000 things, into it. But like once it's in there, like it's easy maintenance versus my spreadsheet. I was using the Compile spreadsheet from G of Book Roast, which I do enjoy. I love her rating system, but I'm finding that I'm not really as interested in a lot of the criteria that she was tracking in that spreadsheet. And yeah, you can hide that stuff, of course, but I think the format of it's just not vibing with me anymore. So I'm gonna try this Notion template. I think it was not free. I did pay, it was less than $10, but I can't remember if it was like 5 or 10 or 5 or 8 or something along those lines. I'm done. I finished them all. Yay. I'm just gonna finish talking about this really quick. It was a few dollars, but there's a huge YouTube video that talks all about how to use it, what's included in it, so you kind of know before you're spending your money on something that may not be a good fit for you, which I really love. But I'm gonna give it a try and see how I like the new format, and if I like being able to like search. Like if I'm in the mood for fake dating, I can't just go on Goodreads and like search my TBR for fake dating. If there is a way to do that, please tell me, because I cannot find one. But with this Notion database, I can tag it as fake dating if I see it in like the blurb or in the tags on Goodreads or things like that. So I can tag it with the tropes, and then I can search by the tropes, which sounds so fun. So I'm really excited for that. I will show you that in the light of day. But for now, she's looking okay. She's only half full, but I think it'll be fine because I'm really excited about the items in here this round, and the new jar for 2025. So I will see you in the light of day tomorrow morning, and I will show you really quick the Notion template that I'm going to be using. I'll link it below as well with the YouTube channel that created it, so you can check it out as well. But I'll show you really quickly like how far I've gotten on mine, because it's a process. But I will chat with you guys in the morning. Do you want to come over? You want to come say hi? Come here. Hi. Okay, so we have been putting together the jar for this video, and she's done. It's not as full. Sorry, it's so echoey. This jar. It's not as full as it was before, but I really truly think that having the prompts instead of the book titles is going to make it so much more enjoyable for me and allow me to mood read a little bit more. And I'm so excited. I apologize. It's gonna be noisy for like 2 seconds because I'm just gonna mix it a tiny bit. Although maybe it's soothing for you. I don't know. And for those of you who made it to the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and do like a teeny tiny little snippet of how the jar will work, but I will be posting the full next episode for Self-Destructing Scoop later this month, so you'll have to tune back in for that. But for those of you who made it to the end, I'm going to go ahead and we'll pick 2 just for funsies. I know we have a scoop, but if I'm only gonna pick 2, I can't do that, obviously. I cannot see what this one is, but it looks short. Ooh, we got the letter H. Hooked. I am going to read Hooked, because I have it from the library. It's on my 25 books to read in 2025, and we are going to Disney later this month, and I wanted to read retellings at Disney. So H, that's perfect. I'm so excited. Okay, let's pick one more because it's addicting and it's fun. We got this green one. I don't know. It's folded, so I cannot see what it is. And we got, oh my gosh, my fingers. Cowboy. Ooh. I've been dying to read Flawless by Elsie Silver. It's actually on my 25 to read in 25. So that is also perfect. Ah! I'm so excited. Okay. I'm going to end this video here. I'm so excited for our new jar, and I think that 2025 is going to be really, really fun for reading prompts and just kind of embracing reading what you're in the mood for with a little bit of direction. I think will be really helpful for me, especially as a reader. I can't wait to see what you guys are reading. I do have the links to my Instagram and Goodreads down below if you want to follow me on there. I am usually more in my stories than on my grid on Instagram, but I am pretty diligent about updating my reading progress on Goodreads. So if you're curious what I'm reading right now, you can go follow me on there. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful beginning of your 2025, and I will see you at the next scoop episode. Bye guys.